Should you buy Starfield? That's the question we're going to answer in today's video with our in-depth review here at Lost Days Gaming to make sure you have an inclined decision on whether you should play Starfield or not. Without further ado, let's get right into the video. I always like to start these reviews with what is the game that we are reviewing. Well, if you don't know what Starfield is a single-player space RPG game behind the people that have made the Elder Scrolls series and Fallout 3 and Fallout 4. And I gotta say, this brand new space adventure by Bethesda Game Studios is a joyride. And I have put a little over 50 hours into this game. I did have access to the early access, and I've been trying to play as much as possible and provide you guys with a nice review. I apologize for the lack of uploads here recently. Just been trying to balance work and doing this at the same time, but if you guys appreciate this kind of stuff, and I appreciate you guys sticking around. Plus, I've had my dog's leg amputated, so I've been also trying to help him out as well. So once he starts to get better, the frequency of uploads will start to increase. But with that out of the way, let's actually get to the review. So you start off your adventure as a Argos extractor, and for the sake of this video I won't be showing a bunch of story spoilers, but you are basically in a mining facility, and it shows you kind of the basic mechanics on how to mine resources and, turn on your flashlight, basic tutorial stuff, and then soon later you'll be introduced to the character customization screen. And from here is pretty much where you're going to spend majority of your time in the beginning parts of Starfield. You can pretty much select any kind of... There's tons of biometric IDs that you can choose from. You can choose your body type, what kind of build you want to do. There's even a walk style. There's two different walk styles. There's also, of course, customize your character however you want. A bunch of different facial features, facial hair, eyebrows, lips, teeth, anything. The very in-depth character customization, which is really nice. And then soon after that, you will be going into the backgrounds. And what the backgrounds are pretty much your first 3 starting skill points for whatever playstyle that you want to do. And I believe there is actually a total of 20 backgrounds that you can choose from. Some of the good ones I just want to pinpoint are like Combat Medic, Cyber Runner, Soldier, File Not Found, just some of the quality of life starting skill points that are pretty good. I'll have a more in-depth guide on how to have a nice start to the game, but always depending on your playstyle. Everybody's playstyle is going to be very different, so just pick and choose whichever one that you think that you are going to play as, or kind of have a nice starting point to what you want to do. And then soon after you pick your background, then you're going to go to the traits. Now the traits are unique things specifically for your character, and they can either be roleplay based or just straight up like how you want to start off with extra health and oxygen or anything like that. But they also have a positive and a negative. Some of the traits examples that are pretty good are the alien DNA, which gives you a boost in health and oxygen in the starting points of the game, but you just don't heal as well from healing items and food, but you can change that later in the game. There's also ones that you have the parents where you have to pay them every like 2 weeks or so, but you can pretty much visit their house and they drop off goodies and items and stuff for you. So again, it's more of like a role-playing aspect, but once you pick that, then you're pretty much starting off your journey into Starfield. And that's just it. The beginning parts of Starfield can be very confusing, so I would say definitely for new players it could be somewhat of a challenge to pretty much trying to get used to all the controls, such as the flight controls, all the different stuff that you can do as far as scanning planets and mining minerals and materials and things of that nature. So I think for new players it's a little bit of a learning curve, but once you get the systems down, it's actually not that bad. Because the game doesn't really hold your hand through anything. Like, you pretty much just go out, make your character, you pop into New Atlantis, and then boom. You can pretty much do anything and everything from there. For example, when I first started in New Atlantis, I didn't even go to the main mission. I just went off and was finding a bunch of different side quests and doing faction quests for the UC Vanguard and, other stuff like that. And so I will say for newer players, it's probably a little bit of a challenge. But as far as the gameplay goes, the combat is not that bad. It's definitely a slow start in the beginning, but once you start ramping up your skills into whatever playstyle you want, so whether if you're doing a stealth build or shotguns, or just blowing up everything and start investing your points into the combat skills to whatever playstyle that you want. It does get a little bit fun, especially once you start getting better and better weapons and putting mods on weapons and stuff like that. Definitely helps out there later in the mid to later game. But it can be a little bit slow in the beginning. Nothing compared to, of course, like Fallout, because Fallout has like the VAT system and stuff like that. But this is its very own game. Pretty just kind of like aim and shoot kind of gameplay. The AI can be a little off, but that is expected from a Bethesda game. So I'm not going to dock it too much. It's still very enjoyable, from my opinion. Because you know me, I love my shooters. But it does get very fun in the later game. Now, as far as story and dialogue goes in this game, it is probably by far one of the best that Bethesda Game Studios has ever done, because the amount of dialogue and the sheer amount of just lore behind everything where it comes to simple side quests or missions or anything like that. I haven't really come across a side quest where it's just kind of like go here, all right, you get some credits. There's more in depth. There's more story. I do like that the pretty much the select your dialogue is back. Tons of persuading options and stuff like that. So when it comes to the actual RPG element of Starfield, it really takes the cake for this one. Also, the gameplay itself, I only encountered a few bugs here and there. Nothing too, game breaking or anything like that. I just kind of like, like, for instance, like if I came across this storage crate here and I did the transfer option, sometimes it would go into that little menu, and then when you come back out, like my gun is glitched all over the screen, but it only lasts for like a second or two, and it rarely ever happens. So it's nothing too big, but again, with a brand new game and especially the massive size of Starfield, some bugs are to be expected. But as far as performance goes, one of the smoothest gameplays I've ever had. I only had a couple frame rate dips when I was in New Atlantis, which is like the biggest city that they've ever done. But when I was out questing or scanning planets or ship fighting or anything like that, the frames were pretty much well over 60 frames, so I didn't really have an issue there. But that's going to be it for today's video, guys. If I were to give this a rating, I would give this a solid, probably like a 9 out of 10, maybe an 8.5, just because of the bugs here and there. But really solid gameplay. Is it worth it? I will say for $69.99, it is pretty much a buy in my book, especially with the amount of hours that you can dump into this game, plus with New Game Plus, and there's already confirmed DLC as well. And for you Game Pass people, it's a freaking steal. You pay in the $15 a month or whatever you got, and you download this for free. So this is pretty much a steal when it comes to Game Pass. So good for you people that have Game Pass. But yeah, that's going to be it, guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, please drop a like and subscribe for more videos coming your way. Like I said, I will be making more videos here soon. I apologize for the lack of uploads here recently, but without further ado, I'll catch you on the next video. Deuces.